sort of the game situation that you have set up. If you run a house game where, the guys come over around 6 p.m., everyone quits in around midnight, you don't want to be that guy that's like the big winner at around 8:30 p.m. It's like, oh, my back, I got to get up in the morning, 6 a.m. and stuff like that. You want to be that guy because it's just bad, right? Now, having said that, you go to a casino and you're playing against, not necessarily friends, but other tourists or things like that. You can essentially quit whenever you want. As far as a strategy, I don't think it's a good idea to quit when you're big winner. Because when you're big winner, guess what's happening? You're winning, everybody else is losing. You're making good decisions. You're confident. You have control of the table. You have a psychological advantage. Everybody else likely stuck, chasing, playing on tilt. That seems like a really good situation. So if you don't feel like you're fatigued or tired, that's when you want to play longer. For me, I always set a rule for playing 8-hour sessions. If after that 8 hours I was still winning, I'd play another hour, check with myself again, see am I still winning and crushing it, maybe play another hour or two, but always, sort of gauging past that point, making sure I'm doing it from a position of power, which is winning, rather than chasing from a losing perspective. On the way home, thinking through what could I have done differently? What would I have done if my hand was X, Y, or Z? Like, what would I have done if this card really break down the hand from many different angles? And I think the most valuable part of study for me has always been, okay, so here's how I think about it, right? What does my friend Phil Ivey think? What does John Juan think? The more heads, the better. And sometimes you might not agree with them. The bottom line is you're opening yourself up to more ways of looking at it. One of the things that I do is create a brain trust, working with people who understand how to use the software better than I do. And it's guys that can a coach. You see a guy like Tiger Woods, greatest golfer ever, right? He has a coach because there's certain things that he may be blind to that there's a lot of value in collaborating with someone else on. I believe in poker, super important to have a group of people that you trust, maybe at similar skill level as you for the time being, or maybe someone better slightly, that you can sort of bounce ideas off of, because that's how you all learn together. So aside from just playing poker, doing this masterclass, practicing, I think ultimately you want to find a group of people, friends or whatever, at a similar place that you are that want to learn the game and really kind of brainstorm together, because when you bounce ideas off each other, really good things happen. So a typical study session for me will look like, me working with a couple of, younger guys that I work with, coaches, if you will. And often it's as simple as really breaking down a hand. And you can take one hand and spend 3 to 4 hours on that one hand and break down all the variables, because you can look at what actually happened, what would have happened if this card changed, what would have happened if this card changed, what if we would have changed our bet sizing, what if we bet quarter pot instead of full pot. There's, again, software that we can use. So typically it's going to be a sharing of information and ideas in terms of different ways that we can incorporate the mathematical side into a situation and really just break it down. I remember one of the most powerful sessions I had was literally 4 hours. We talked about one hand the entire 4 hours, but through that there were so many lessons within that one hand that it was really worthwhile. The more you practice, the more you do that, the more it becomes ingrained, and then you can what we call stage 4 it, which essentially means just a lot of the concepts that I've learned most recently are things that when I first saw them were frankly intimidating, because I'm sure you're watching sometimes, you hear me talk and you think, I don't get it, it's a little hard. That's okay. It'll click, right? You just got to hang in there, drill it, repetition. A lot of what I did really was, when I was learning new concepts, I would go online, right? And online I would start drilling. I would start just practicing all the basic concepts I've learned to the point where I don't think about it. It's just like breathing. I split my time when it comes to poker study into a couple groups. One is studying fundamentals, studying with my work group that I work with, and also game film, right? Because part of the way the NFL these days, the coaches, you can watch game film and sort of get a sense of what your opponents are capable of doing, what certain plays mean. And so I things that I would have put in terms of study when I was 21 or 22, that's not necessary. So I'm dealing either with very, very high-level concepts, or working mostly on making sure that I'm mentally prepared, I'm clear on my intention, and that I'm getting the right rest, doing all the sort of things to relax my mind. As far as stuff you do away from the table, you don't figure it out, or we're talking about, and then apply it when you play poker. Golfer, I mean, I golf a little bit, and for example, you're trying to work on a draw ball. That's not your natural ball. So you're working on the range, trying to go a bunch and collide you like $1 million hole, and I'm just working on this draw thing. That's not what I'm going to bring to the golf course. If I hit a fade, that's what I'm going to go with, right? So I'm going to work on the draw when I'm practicing. Away from the rounds, I'm going to work on, what I need to work on with poker as well. It's a good parallel to explain here that the work that needs to be done has to happen away from the table till you get so comfortable with it that you're confident enough to bring it to the tables. The prototypical poker player of the old days was, whiskey in one hand, cigar in the other, belly hanging over the table. That's not what you see today in the high roller tournaments. What you see now is a younger group of players that are, built, physically fit, and I go play tournaments in Barcelona sometimes now. I go to the gym in the morning, it's packed with poker players. In the late 90s, that wasn't the case. Very important now to understand that, especially with tournaments, sometimes you'll be sitting for 12, 14, maybe even 16-hour periods. And when you're sitting for that long, if you're not physically in shape, it's going to be difficult for you to do that for 5 to 7 straight days. So the more mentally fit and physically fit you are, the better you are going to be in terms of when crunch time comes late at night, and everyone else is falling asleep, and you're ready to steal that last pot. Poker mirrors life in so many ways. How you tackle it can be very similar in terms of how lazy you are, how accountable you are to hold yourself, and how driven you are. I've always been somebody who was pretty driven in everything that I did. I was a competitive kid, would have loved to have been, a hockey player, but I wasn't good enough. I loved to have been, some sort of professional athlete. Luckily for me, my competitive juices were addressed at the poker table. And in terms of how I approach poker, not much different than that. Before tournaments, I find it's extremely important to get 8 hours of sleep. I have personal rules for myself. I don't know if these work for you, but this is how I do it. The night before, I don't drink any alcohol. I don't go to dinner with a group of people because I find that I expend energy. I want to be sort of in my room, relaxed, calm, avoid social events. What I'll typically do is maybe, if I know who I'm playing against the next day, I'll go over some footage of some stuff that I've seen them do and try to come up with a game plan. If I'm traveling, I'm typically going to try to come a couple days early so I don't face the jet lag. One of the most important ways that you can improve yourself and improve your poker game is to be mentally prepared for both the good and the bad. I used to complain because I was going through early, and there's certain spots where I didn't get the food that I wanted. In other words, I can't find what I wanted, right? So what I realized is instead of me being a victim of the circumstances, why don't I call ahead, months ahead, check ahead, see what's available, and map out a plan. The more planned out you have your life, whether it's at the poker table or outside of the poker table, the more likely you're going to have success in both endeavors. So there's no question that this new age mumbo-jumbo stuff, meditation, emotional intelligence, are all highly effective in terms of seeing you be the best version of yourself. I've done throughout the years plenty of workshops. I've read a lot of books. I did a course called Choice Center in Las Vegas, which is about emotional intelligence and elevating that. And I use a lot of what I learned and apply it to true poker. And meditation is also a big part of it, just calming the mind so that you can be prepared for these long 12, 16-hour days sometimes. A little bit of moment of rest is important. We live in a fast-paced society. I'm always on my phone. I'm always engaging with people and things like that. So that ability to rest for a moment and sort of visualize and get clear. I'm a big believer in like having clear intention before I start this tournament, and I sort of envision what I'd like to see this day look like. And I do this for things at the table as well as outside of my life in terms of what I want to create in the world.
About 30 seconds till we go. Let's go. Get ready.
I don't want to sugarcoat anything here, right? If you want to be a high-end poker pro or pretty much anything in life, it takes a lot of hard work, right? So if I were you right now, I'd ask myself, like, what do you want to use this masterclass for specifically? Is it because you just want to beat your buddies in the home game, or do you have aspirations of winning millions of dollars playing this game as I have over the years? Well, if it's the latter, understand it's going to take a lot of extremely hard work. And one of the most important parts of sort of deciding how you're going to map that out is allocating the time, right? I have a lot of friends who are professional poker players, and they say, you know, listen, I want to make $100,000 a year playing poker. And I say, okay, well, how much money are you spending a month on your monthly nut, whether it's bills, whether it's food or whatnot? And they'll give me the number, and I'll tell them, okay, you want to make more money playing poker? Spend less on groceries, right? So it's really, really important to know that with poker, it's not a game where you get a paycheck every week that looks exactly the same. You have to prepare with your bankroll for the natural ebbs and flows. You get a hand like pocket aces, you win, right? No. That's not how it works in poker. Sometimes pocket aces is going to lose to a deuce seven or some, random play that this guy makes that takes you off the hand, takes you money. So preparing for what you want to accomplish is super important before you even get to what life is supposed to look like. Because without a plan, this can be an extremely stressful job, right? The more planned out you have in terms of time allocation, I would say, typically, especially if you're at the early stages, you want to spend 80-20. So that's at least 20% of your time studying the game, 80% playing. So when I started out, typically what I would do is, I would play a session, jot down a few hands, and write on paper, and have my notes back then. And then I'd go into the game later, sometimes with friends, and I'd spend, another couple hours after the 8-hour session studying what I just did so that I don't make the same mistakes the next day and so forth. So really most important thing to understand about this lifestyle is very volatile, right? You want to do this recreation, you want to beat up on your buddy, if you have higher aspirations, just get on board with me here, it's not easy. You're going to have to work really hard. So if you're going to be a poker player, it's not good enough to bring your A game sometimes. It's not good enough to just sort of decide that you're going to apply principles correctly when you see fit. It's really important that if you're going to play a session, before you sit down, I typically like to decide for myself, well, how long am I going to play? So if I say I'm going to play for 6 hours, I'll play the 6 hours. Now, at the end of that 6 hours, if I decide I want to keep playing, I have to make sure to check. Am I playing my A game still? Is this game good? Am I losing? Because sometimes when you're losing, your mind plays tricks on you, and all of a sudden you think you're playing well, but you might be off. So what is consistency really all about? It's bringing your effort every single time you play. You're not going sometimes, you know what, I'm going to forget the math, I'm going to make a goofy decision because it sounds like fun. You can do that if you're just playing this game to have some fun, but if you actually care about what your numbers look like at the end of the week, at the end of the month, at the end of the year, every one of those bets is going to count.